the government had to decide on the best way to design, finance, build, and operate the sports hub. Broadly, there were two options available to us at that point in time. And first, the traditional procurement method. Under this model, the government fully finances the upfront capital investment for the project and thereafter either pays a service provider to run the project or does it on its own. The government will also bear the costs and risk of undertaking the project from the start, including the design and construction, and in also getting suitable parties to come in to operate the project. Alternatively, a public-private partnership model. Under this arrangement, the government could tap into current international private sector expertise, particularly where the project was innovative, cutting-edge, as the sports hub was intended to be. A suitable partner would fully undertake the design, the construction, as well as the financing of the operations and management of the project, and thus, in this way, also directly bears the risks. The government would not have to incur any upfront capital costs or financial outlay until the project was completed or operational. Thereafter, the government would then commit a steady stream of payments to the private sector partner for the entire duration of the project term. Given the unprecedented scale and complexity of such a major sports infrastructure project in Singapore and the limitations at that time of not having sufficient depth and breadth of such expertise in Singapore, including in the private sector, we chose to adopt the PPP model. The PPP approach allowed us to benefit from the expertise of major international private sector partners with worldwide experience. SHPL was chosen as a PPP partner because each of the consortium members of SHPL brought with them substantial expertise that was relevant to certain key aspects of the project. At the same time, we also wanted to ensure that our partners would have skin in the game. The PPP model was useful for this because it allowed risks to be shared with the private sector in two material ways. First, as I mentioned earlier, there is no upfront cost to the government. The entire project design, planning, and construction were borne by the PPP partners from the time the project started in 2010. Second, this structure also allowed the government to mitigate the sometimes unexpected risk of such a major project undertaking. These risks did come to bear. For instance, the project encountered construction delays, for which SHPL underwrote the cost. SHPL also bore the cost of addressing defects such as the roof leaks, the inadequacy of the pitch, poor sound quality for concerts. Third, the PPP structure also ensured that there will be inherent financial discipline in the project. This was achieved by ensuring that the consortium would have to bear any costs above their expectations and also return the assets back to the government at zero cost at the end of the project period in 2035. As such, this was an effective incentive built into the PPP model to ensure that they align and maintain commercial discipline and minimize the risks of any budget overruns. Overall, this structure enabled the government to manage its interests through the different phases of this project, to mitigate its financial risk, to drive economic efficiency, and also align the parties, particularly in relation to the upfront design and construction of the new infrastructure.